The only thing that I would change about this, if it was, my app, and it's not. Merry Christmas Eve. I'm going to make this a little bit shorter. I know it's also the time where you might already be thinking ahead to next week and New Year's and any kind of resolutions that you may be considering, and I know weight loss is a popular New Year's resolution. So I thought I would give you a little bit of insight into how does WeightWatchers or WW work, because I know it's very difficult to select a program and also pony up the money to get into a program, especially I can't even begin to speculate on the types of deals that they may have, and often you can get a huge savings if you pick an annual plan on any given program that might be out there. So I thought if I gave you just a few inside looks of how does WeightWatchers actually work, as opposed to just tracking your calories and that sort of thing, that might help you decide, is this the right program for me as I go into the new year. It's Christmas Eve. I even have stopped worrying. I'm still tracking. I even switched my mode into a maintenance mode, and I still may gain a little bit of weight. And this week I am okay with gaining a little bit of weight because I started Weight Watchers back at the end of September or early October, I believe. Somewhere in that time frame, so I know it's not a popular time to get started, but it was something that was really bothering me was my weight, and I know often people will wait until New Year's and get through like a holiday season, the trick-or-treat, the Thanksgiving, all that. And honestly, I don't know what my expectations were. I don't know if I thought I would stick to it, and I'm sure I was like, I'll get off of it like anything else. But if nothing else, I was really hoping to at least maintain through this very, food-laden time of year, so that way it just wouldn't be as bad, or that I wouldn't continue to gain weight at the rate that I was. For me personally, part of why I chose Weight Watchers is the flexibility, and also my doctor has seen patients with success using WW, so I thought I would give it a try again. It has been years and years and years since I have tried it, and I know they tend to play with the program a little bit, and I think it is good that they do try to improve things and listen to the feedback of the members. But to give an overarching view of how Weight Watchers works is you can have anything you want, you just can't have necessarily everything or all the amounts that you want. We all know, there is that mentality of everything in moderation, and I sort of am trying to get into that because I have done some more extreme programs and weight loss methods in the past that they worked, but it didn't keep it off. So with Weight Watchers, you can actually have quite a bit of balance in your diet and everything that you're eating. Even if you've never done Weight Watchers, you probably know someone who has, or at least has heard of it, and that there is a point system that is assigned to each type of food. How Weight Watchers looks at this, and this is different from old school Weight Watchers where all they cared about was fiber and that was it. Even boneless, skinless chicken breast, I believe, had points way back in the day, if I remember correctly, because I know I felt like I ate way more popcorn than anything on Weight Watchers way back when. And so I'm glad that they do take steps to try to improve the program and reevaluate as needed. How Weight Watchers evaluates food is a few different components. So it's going to look at, I'm going to simplify it a little bit. So it's going to look at protein and fiber are going to be the components of a food item that will make it a lower point option based on how many calories overall it is. Any fat or added sugars in particular will bring a point value up. So for instance is boneless, skinless chicken breast is 0 points. You can legitimately have as much as you want of it, and Weight Watchers does recognize that technically it is possible to overeat. I know we've seen the jokes of people with big, massive, a table full of all 0 point foods and that.
Oh, well, I can just have all of this and it's free and it doesn't count and it doesn't matter. I can just have all of it.
If you really look at everything that they lay out on that table, I dare them to eat it all because I would be very, very uncomfortable if not sick. I don't know if I could finish all of that in one sitting or even in an entire day. It's a lot of food. All of the foods that are 0 points are very difficult to overeat. It's not impossible, obviously, but if you're trying to make an effort, you'll understand that, you know, you may want to watch your portion sizes. That is kind of the premise, is that they look at protein and fiber as being very filling and satisfying. So your fruits and vegetables are all 0 points. I believe tofu is 0 points. I just don't eat it often, so I just haven't had it lately to remember offhand. And so when you sign up, you'll put in all of your personal information, your height, your current weight, any goals. Maybe you're just wanting to maintain. If you're a female, it will ask you a couple other questions, such as if you're breastfeeding and if it has to take those calories into account for you. Then I'm talking from the apps aspect. I don't use desktop. It is going to be very similar on desktop, I would imagine. So you put in your personal details. It will calculate for your height, your weight, and your goals how many points in a given day that they're going to budget for you. And so you can use these points as you wish. So I know there are people that do all like 0 point day challenges. That's great. But especially starting out, I think it is good to use your points and, you know, still enjoy things that you love. Maybe just not as much or in the same quantities, or even just having that little accountability of, oh, you know, I guess I don't need that second piece of pizza, or maybe I do, and I'm just going to make it work. In addition to your daily points, currently I believe I am at 37 or 38 points per day. It also will give you a certain allotment of weekly points. So that gives you some flexibility. So if you know you have like a big dinner and you want to save all those points up and then use it on like something special, you absolutely can, and it will still help you kind of budget your week around that. Otherwise, you can use them, you know, evenly throughout the week. So maybe I'm going to, instead of my 37 points, maybe I'm going to have 42 or 43 points per day. And that's also a totally fine approach. It's just totally what works for you, which is why I think this is a great program for anybody who's just starting out, or, I mean, even myself, who has failed time and again, or has had success and then could not maintain it because I was using methods that were so extreme, or I didn't have a plan of how to maintain once I had lost the weight. I just didn't. Another interesting feature is, let's say you do not use all of your points in a single day. It will limit how many you can roll over, but if you don't use it all, because I mean, sometimes there's days where I'm just not super hungry, maybe I just wasn't as active or something, and I believe it is up to 4 points you can roll into your weeklies and add into that little bank, which is also super handy. You know, especially during the holidays, like you can just roll all those over, say for Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner, or, you know, next week is New Year's. And if you want to have a party and, you know, have all the pizza and make it work, that's also totally fine. If you want to use your rollovers and your weeklies plus your dailies for that particular day. In addition, there is an option that you can also earn activity points. So say I wear my Fitbit and I was just wanting, you know, a break from it in sleeping. So I don't actually have it on right now. And also I know I'm not going to be super active today. I'm aware of that. So based on the number of steps or how much walking I do, it will also add into those weekly points as activity points. And so those are also nice. I try my best not to use those just because I don't want that to be like a motivating thing or get into an unhealthy mindset of, well, you know, I need to be active to like, because I need to have this other food. I try not to use them. Sometimes I do because, again, I'm human, and it's been the holiday season, and we've had vendor dinners and Cheesecake Factory and Buffalo Wild Wings and, I mean, all the things, Aladdin's, yours truly. I can't just... the amount of points that I actually went negative for the very first time. It was insane. So, but luckily it was at the beginning of the week, so I can, you know, try to manage my rollovers and everything like that. So, you know, that's I think what I like about it is that there is a lot of flexibility, and it brings that mindfulness of like, okay, you can have all these really big meals and very like high calorie, maybe low fiber. Some of them were high protein, but maybe they had a creamy sauce or something like that and a high fat content. But it's also good when you have that accountability in your pocket and you go, ooh, you know what, maybe I don't get a side of fries, maybe I get a side salad instead, which, I mean, that didn't happen this past week. I just somehow made it work and it was fine. But it's also easy to have meal after meal like that of like treat yourself meals and just really lose track of how much you've really had. And even now, there are things I completely forget to track because, you know, I'm moving about the office and someone offers me candy and I just didn't have my phone in my pocket at that moment in time. Or if I'm out with someone, I am personally someone who, like, I do my best to plan ahead for what I can have on Weight Watchers if I know, but if it's a spur of the moment thing, I'll think about what makes sense in my mind or what I really want, and then I will track it later. And that's not the best approach, like, overall success-wise, but from a relational standpoint, I don't like being the person that's on their phone while I'm at lunch or dinner with someone. That's just my personal thing, so I'm not going to sit there and stress out over points when I'm trying to enjoy a meal with someone. I generally have a pretty good idea by now. Like, if I stick to a chicken dish, it's going to be one of the better options. I think we all empirically kind of know what's best for us, typically on a menu. It doesn't always happen. But, you know, and it just kind of keeps me on track for the rest of the day. Like, when I get home, okay, maybe I have a lighter dinner. There was actually one day where I didn't have dinner at all because I was still so full from having a late lunch. And I just had a quick snack of peanuts, and that was it. Speaking of restaurants, for the big chain restaurants like your Applebee's, anything that you can find either, I don't want to say totally nationwide, because there are things that are regional, like I don't have an In-N-Out burger or anything like that. But there is quite a large list of restaurants that you can kind of sift through their menus, and you can kind of limit, if you want to limit the points value on the types of foods that you want to consider. That is always an option. The only thing that I would change about this, if it was, you know, my app, and it's not, I wish there was a way to sort by points value in the restaurant so that you can decide, like, okay, but if it's like only one more point than, you know, what I had put my limit on, I would rather have that as a feature than limiting the points personally, just so I could, you know, see from like lowest to highest, or however you wanted to sort those. But that's just a feature I would like to see. And again, they listen to their community, so hopefully someday that will be a feature. That's a nice thing for pre-planning. And otherwise, sometimes if it's like a smaller local place, you do have to play a little bit of a guessing game. Or if you're lucky and they have their nutritional breakdown in the menu, then you can go ahead and manually enter everything in. I usually just try to use my best guess of like, okay, this looks pretty close to, say, a burger from Applebee's or something like that. Because, I mean, it's impossible to get every little option and food item on the planet in there. I couldn't even imagine trying to do that. So there is enough to work with, and I think that's great. As far as grocery shopping, there are a few great features also in the Weight Watchers app, and again, it's on your phone. You can carry it with you. There is a little section that you click on, and it just gives you all of the 0-point foods. So if you want to fill your cart up first with those and have those options, I think that's great, or just a quick reference point. The other thing is there is a barcode scanner. So you can actually scan the barcode of snacks and other items and just kind of get an idea of if you think it's worth the amount of points for how it comes up. Again, not every single thing under the sun is in the Weight Watchers database. You can also enter it in manually, and many of the community members do. Sometimes you'll pull up one of their entries as like the reference point. So I think that's really great that it is nice that we can all help each other in that sense. This was longer than I thought it was going to be for just like a quick overview of how it works. Another thing that I personally would like to see in the app, and I know this would be incredibly difficult, probably, is to have like references in there for low point snacks or food items. So I am actually working on that for you. I hope to have that ready for next week's video, and then you can have something that you can download in addition to your WeightWatchers app. So, you know, it's going to be all 1 and 2 point snack items, and I'm starting with snacks. We can make this also a whole series if you want. Then after that, I'm going to do a 3 and 4 point snack option kind of roundup, and then again, if you download the printable that I'm working on, you can either just save it to your phone as a PDF or print it out and put it in your purse or wallet as you're shopping, just to give you some new ideas. But that's just something that I am working on for you because it's something that I like having at my fingertips too. And you'll see some of my favorite things and some really surprising options on there, honestly. So I hope to have that ready for you next week. I have so many videos that everyone wants to go up. I'm trying my best. Vlogmas is almost over. It is about killing me. So those will go away, and we'll be able to do some more content. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to that 2 times a week or if I'm just going to go back to once a week. But either way, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for stopping by. I don't care which weight loss program you pick. I just wanted to give you some insight before you spend the money to see if this is right for you. Whatever you choose on your journey of wellness and living well, I just know that I'm rooting for you. Whether you choose keto, whether you choose, I don't know, does Beachbody still do programs? I don't know. Or some trainer at your gym, like whatever you choose, I hope it's right for you. I hope you can stick with it this time and run it past your doctor. That's also important. And thank you so much. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. And if you don't have a chance to stop in until after the new year, have a fabulous new year. I really enjoyed visiting with you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.